Hello, my Dead by Daylight friends. I originally wanted this setup to look a little more professional. I was gonna go to the studio to film this video, but due to reasons outside of my control, I can't do it. So we're doing it the old-fashioned YouTuber way. One camera, one light, one microphone. We got this. I once again asked you all to give me your boldest Dead by Daylight opinions, and you all came and delivered. So if I didn't include your opinion in the video, no worries. It's probably just because somebody else gave their opinion on the same matter, and I happened to pick theirs first. But you're not here to listen to me ramble, so let me not waste any more of your time. Ladies and gentlemen, here is round 2 on your boldest Dead by Daylight opinions.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
I think Dead Hard deserved this change. I would hit an injured survivor and have the animation keep playing just to see they're already gone. I am proud of behavior for fixin'. The Hillbilly rework was and still is the absolute worst balance change behavior has ever made. I think anyone who wears the frosty-eyed cosmetic on any killer is the most toxic player ever. More toxic than a slugging Myers. So Decisive Strike should have been changed way differently so it can stop being weaponized. It should completely remove the timer on it and increase stun decision. However, it should deactivate the moment someone else is hooked. If you go down after someone else was hooked, you weren't tunneled. I don't care if it was 30 seconds, if someone else was hooked, you weren't tunneled. And if the killer tunnels you for 6 minutes, that's still being tunneled. Just revert it and make it deactivate when someone else is healed, and boom! Anti-tunneling perk, that simple. But instead, best we got was what we got in the update. Oh, and Medal of Man nerf, cuz bro, I dig this Decisive Strike rework you're talking about. I think behavior needs to hire you right now. The Dredge needs a massive buff. The moving between lockers takes way too long in my opinion. Our good friend Jecting coming in, never failing, always giving us the boldest Dead by Daylight opinions. If you're a longtime fan of the channel, you might remember him as our Dead by Daylight expert. Repair speed should be reduced to 45 seconds, and Legion needs a huge nerf. Sprint Burst was always better than Dead Hard. It just takes more skill to use properly. Twins are massively underrated and overly hated. They account for like -1% of Survivor's Trial, and the odds of you playing against a Twins main is even less. So even if you do go against a Twins, it's likely they aren't playing them well. I think I can agree with the underrated, but overly hated. Really good Twins player can make games go on forever. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Just not a fan of those Twins. Delete Trickster. I like the way you think. As someone who's been playing since 2017, this game hasn't been so balanced in such a long time. That being said, I think DS's change just slaughtered the perk, but I also think those Survivor mains are overreacting to the mid-chapter patch. Because let's face it, those Survivors always sucked at the game and relied on those 5 to 6 meta perks to win their games. Now that a good majority of those perks were nerfed, yeah, they can't play as well anymore without the use of those perks. Clown is balanced. I'm sorry, is there a side of the DBD community actively trying to nerf the Clown? They actually made Dead Hard a fun and skillful perk? This is the best update ever. They did what to Iron Will? Pig needed to have been nerfed. I know. And the real opinion is life and deadlock. Life? Do you mean live? And the real opinion is life and deadlock should have been nerfed. You heard it here first, life just got nerfed. If you play Dead by Daylight, guess what? You got no life. Sorry to be the one to tell ya. I have something. I don't want Stranger Things to come back for the simple reason that it would bring Hawkins back to the game. And to me, Hawkins was one of the worst map design-wise. I was ecstatic when it finally got deleted. I feel sorry that new players won't get to play as Demo, Steve, Nancy, or Jonathan, but the downsides vastly outweigh the benefits of the chapter coming back to the game. I will say that is the first time I've heard somebody be completely against Stranger Things returning, strictly for Hawkins alone. Everything from the mid-chapter was good for the game and honestly made it balanced again. In a 1v4, the 1 has to be stronger than the 4. They made it this way and it is good now. Second, Dead Hard is still actually pretty good, and you just have to actually have skill to use it, unlike before. And on the flip side of things, I, as a killer main, think the killer meta should have gotten a heavier spanking. I don't know how, but I'm waiting for a day where killer meta will be about stealth, tactics, and silent approach, and maybe aura reading. Maybe that will make this game feel like horror again. Also, I think that barbecue and We're Gonna Live Forever shouldn't give extra blood points, but increase the cap of blood points we get in a match, like from 10,000 blood points to 15,000 or 20,000 blood points in one category. It's hard to say what'll make Dead by Daylight scary again. I mean, you get your jump scares here and there, but I don't know if we'll ever capture the true horror of the game, like you mentioned it, unless we completely rework the game. Lightweight is as good as Iron Will was, or better. I think a lot of people are agreeing with this. I've been seeing so many people come in with Lightweight now. Okay, boldest opinion. I feel like Thanatophobia did not need a buff, mainly because generators now take 90 seconds. But at the same time, I do not think it deserves the nerf that it's gonna get, because I'm just gonna say this now, 2% per survivor is practically non-existent. So I feel like for that reason, Thanatophobia is gonna die. Sorry, Legion and Plague mains, looks like you're gonna have to switch out Thana for Dying Light. I will say, to play devil's advocate, the way they nerf Thana, it makes it so when all 4 people are injured, it bumps it up to 12%, which still, it's worse than OG Thanatophobia. But at least for killers like Legion and Plague, where they're actively trying to injure everyone, it might still be just a little bit useful on Thanatophobia, but I agree, it might have gotten knocked down a little too hard. Mid-chapter has highlighted how bad survivors really are without their crutches, and some reworks that need to be reworked, such as toolboxes. Those need to be reverted back to how they were before their initial change, but change brand new part. I've been saying this for a long time. Toolboxes need a massive rework. I think they are borderline useless, except for sabotaging hooks. And brand new part, like he mentioned. If you come in with a brand new part, great. Brand new part is gonna get the job done. But I feel like if I'm going in as a survivor, I'm always gonna pick a med kit, because med kit is the most busted survivor item in the game. Mr. 805 coming in with the triple round. 1, Evil Dead the game still does not compare to DBD. To be fair, I have not played it, but hear me out. DBD has over 20 killers and 30 maps. Evil Dead has about 3 killers and like 6 maps. The game looks awesome and I want to play it, but when I looked on the PS Store and it's $40, isn't that a bit high for the fact that your competitor has like 6 times the content? I've actually been playing a lot less of Evil Dead the game. 1, because there's a hacker issue, and yes, I know Dead by Daylight has a hacking issue too, but listen here, if you think Dead by Daylight is unbalanced, let me introduce you to a game called Evil Dead. Evil Dead is maybe the least balanced game I've played in a long time. 2, I think DBD should have a health chapter. Amen. 3, for those sweet, sweet bonus points. As a killer main, the game is a bit too easy now to tunnel and camp. Not my playstyle, but still. The game may be a bit too killer-sided in general. Someone DS'd me and I literally laughed. PS to all those guys who love Dead Hard, the mobile version of the game should still have the old version of it. That's interesting, I didn't know that. Does the mobile version of Dead by Daylight still have OG Dead Hard? I think Freddy needs another rework. He's fun, but his power is just so weak. See, I'm a little bit of the opposite. To me, Freddy's just and he's just kind of boring to play as too. I don't know. I can't think of the last time I've played Freddy. I don't have to heal you if I don't think it's safe. And also, the people who lead the killer to you when being chased to get them off their trail are the same types of people who would do that in real life. I was sad when they didn't buff my favorite perk, Buckle Up. God bless you, soldier. You'll get that buckle up buff you deserve one day. Even though the mid-chapter was killer-sided, as a survivor I'm actually enjoying chases more for some reason. I also feel like matchmaking is better, but really I'm unhappy about borrowed time, self-care, and DS changes. Slugging is literally uncounterable. As a killer main, I was getting destroyed with 2 hooks with 1 gen left. Decided to slug 1 person, eventually led to a screw up by another one, which led to a 3-man slug. There's like 1 person in the entire lobby with Unbreakable, and funnily enough, it was the 1 person I didn't slug. Forcing yourself to slug camp is never fun, and playing against it is even worse, yet it's still the best way to win a game. I'm gonna hit you with the devil's advocate real quick. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but you did mention because the survivors screwed up. Is it possible with whatever MMR you're in, survivors don't know how to counter slugging and are just therefore doing it wrong? Not saying you're right or wrong, just food for thought. I think that Ghostface and Freddy are 2 of the best killers in the game, and everyone else needs to get good. Here's a hot take. Dead Hard was actually a balanced perk. If you did it right, you lived. You did it wrong, you died. Nurse shouldn't get nerfed or reworked. She is perfectly fine. Only thing that should get nerfed is her range add-ons. Anything else is perfectly fine with her, and I don't know why people complain so much. Huntress is the most boring character in DBD. Her hitboxes are jank as hell, and the new overcharge meta has made Survivor insufferable. Hillbilly should no longer collide with objects, just like Oni. It wouldn't make him overpowered at all, but way more forgiving while also keeping him a killer with a high skill ceiling. The most fun thing about playing as and against Hillbilly is the curving, and this would encourage people to go for those kinds of plays more often. Also, it feels like you have to put in way more effort as Billy to achieve results similar to easier killers. Not to mention the new map design philosophy does not serve Billy at all, making his design somewhat outdated. Give Billy some love. This is the most balanced the game has been in a while. I think the game is so much more fun now. I play mostly solo queue Survivor, which people say solo queue is impossible now. Although it's a lot harder, I like the new added challenge instead of just popping 3 gens before the killer gets their first down. Also, I'm with you, bring back DS, please. 2 opinions. If Nurse gets nerfed, which she should, don't get me wrong, they should also decrease the amount of pallets per map. That, in my opinion, is why most people pick her up, because maps like Ormond or the game are disgusting for most other killers. I'm not saying make maps as barren as Shelter Woods, but would a few less pallets be that big of a problem? Especially if Nurse is taken down a peg with it. 2. The people constantly memeing about Behavior's foot fetish are just projecting. I don't know. Behavior is being quite suspicious. And lastly, what I think is overall the boldest Dead by Daylight opinion in this edition. DBD is balanced. I think that just takes everything I mentioned and puts it together into 3 words. And DBD is balanced is the most controversial thing in this video. Folks, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Give Me Your Boldest Dead by Daylight Opinions. I have so much fun doing these. Keep an eye out for Guess My Hours too. I promise, it's coming. It's coming soon, don't worry. It's almost there. It's almost there. Trust me, trust me. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. It's close, it's close. I promise. But in the meantime, feel free to check out a lot of my recent videos. I put a lot of time and effort into there, and maybe drop a like and subscribe. I don't know, maybe. But have a good rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.